A new warning from Iran is rattling Gulf energy routes and could shake oil markets far beyond the region. Welcome to the Automated Daily, Top News Edition, the podcast created by generative AI. I'm Trend Teller, and today is August 23rd, 2026. Coming up, fresh pressure points in the Middle East, a sharp jump in U.S.-Canada trade tension, a possible opening in Congo peace talks, and severe weather affecting millions across the United States. This episode is brought to you by Prezi. Prezi LP creates stunning AI-powered presentations in minutes. Find the link in the episode notes. We start in the Middle East, where the latest developments point to a tougher line from Tehran. In a new warning, Iran said neighboring countries that joined the U.S.-led sanctions effort would be treated as enemies and could see their interests, including oil exports through the Gulf, threatened. That matters because even a verbal escalation around the Strait of Hormuz can quickly unsettle energy markets. At the same time, Iran's president insisted the country will not back down in its current standoff with Washington, and authorities announced the execution of a man accused of helping the United States and Israel during anti-government unrest. Taken together, these moves suggest Iran is signaling resolve rather than flexibility. Elsewhere in the region, the political outlook between Israelis and Palestinians looks even more entrenched. In the latest update to that story, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu repeated that he will block the creation of a Palestinian state for as long as he remains in office. Separately, a Palestinian government body said the number of Israeli settlements and outposts in the occupied West Bank has reached 592, with Israel now controlling roughly 42% of the territory. The immediate takeaway is that the gap between diplomacy and realities on the ground is widening, making any future negotiated settlement even harder to picture. In Russia, officials said air defenses shot down 6 drones heading toward Moscow early Sunday. No major damage or casualties were reported, but this is another reminder that even the capital is not fully insulated from repeated aerial threats. For the Kremlin, these incidents are not just a military issue. They also shape public confidence, defense messaging, and the broader sense of how exposed the country may be. In Central Africa, there is at least one cautiously positive sign. The government of the Democratic Republic of Congo and AFC M23 rebels agreed to develop a detailed roadmap for peace talks under the Doha framework, including timelines and sequence steps. That's not a settlement yet, but structure matters in conflicts that often stall on vague promises. If the roadmap holds, it could help reduce violence in eastern Congo and improve access for civilians who have borne the brunt of the fighting. Also in Africa, Kenyan investigators arrested 4 people and recovered toxic chemicals in a case tied to the suspected cyanide poisoning of elephants in the Amboseli ecosystem. At least 18 elephants are reported dead. The scale of the loss is what makes this story stand out. Authorities are now looking at whether this was linked to wildlife crime, retaliation linked to human-animal conflict, or something else entirely. However it turns out, it is likely to increase pressure for stronger protection around major wildlife areas.
On trade and energy, 2 stories are worth watching together. In a new development in North America, the United States imposed 50% tariffs on key Canadian goods, a sharp escalation that could raise costs and invite retaliation. Supply chains between the 2 countries are deeply intertwined, so moves like this rarely stay confined to one sector. In Europe, finance ministers from 6 EU countries renewed their call for an excess profit tax on oil companies, arguing governments should capture more of the windfall created by high fuel prices. Different tools, same political message. Leaders are under pressure to show they are acting on economic pain. And finally, 2 major U.S. headlines. More than 20 million people were under severe weather alerts as storms pushed heavy rain, large hail, and damaging winds from the Ohio Valley into the south. The main risks were flash flooding, travel disruption, and power outages, with emergency crews on alert across a wide stretch of the country. In the courts, a Texas appeals court reduced a $50 million judgment against Alex Towns to $1.5 million in a defamation case tied to false conspiracy claims. That is a dramatic reduction, and it could shape how similar high-profile defamation disputes are argued in the future. Thanks to our sponsor, 11 Labs. 11 Labs lets you discover the future of AI audio with cutting-edge voice technology. Find the link in the episode notes. Those are the top stories for August 23rd, 2026. From Gulf tensions and trade shocks to peace talks, conservation alarms, and storm threats, we'll keep tracking the developments that matter most. Thanks for listening to the Automated Daily, Top News Edition. I'm Trend Teller, and I'll be back with the next update.